Hello.
If anybody's out there, feel free to start using our chat and our emoji reacts. Welcome to our GlossGenius webinar. Got some folks typing. Feel free to drop a hello. We'll get us started in just a second here as the room is filling up. But thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening. Super exciting. Awesome. Okay, we got some folks in the house. Kendra, Jacqueline, Katerina. Amazing. Thanks, guys. Well, they've got some early contributors to the chat. Let's all feel free to use that this evening. The chat is open. Drop your questions. Donald will drop them while you're driving, but love that you're listening. That's awesome. Excited to have you join us. Well, thanks so much again. We're here for our very special end of year session. This is our 2025 Gloss, the trends, tactics, and insights you need to grow in 2026. So today we're really excited to be launching a full reality check based on the most comprehensive data in our industry. We're truly sharing the ultimate playbook for 2026 from the analysis we've done on millions of appointments and also surveying 1,000 plus businesses and clients to reveal what you need to scale in 2026, as well as what you might want to leave behind in 2025. So anyway, my name is Nicole Gifford. I am our events manager here at GlossGenius, and I'm going to kick it over to Amanda, who's our director of brand marketing and my co-host, to set the stage.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you all for joining us today. I know you're super busy, which is why we're doing this, because the reality is what it takes to grow a salon, spa, or med spa has evolved significantly over the past year, and it can be hard to keep up with all of the trends when you're doing your day job. So we're here to really bring you the new reality checks of what it takes to grow in 2026. And you can walk away today with everything you need to know to get ahead and be successful in the new year. And I know people are already introducing themselves, but if you haven't already, we'd love to see your name, your business name, and where you're calling in from in the chat. I see some folks are typing. We have Mary from Minnesota. Hi, Emily. Hi, honey.
I think we have a lot of Minnesota representation. I noticed
Hi,
some.
Connie.
So that's awesome.
And please drop questions throughout the evening. We will answer in real time and also at the end. Okay, we have some, lots of folks joining us.
LA, Missouri, New York. We're both calling in from New York right now. So hi, New York.
Awesome.
Texas, North Carolina, new salon owner. Congrats, Alexandra. That's amazing. How cool is this?
All right, we have some serious geographic coverage. Amazing. Well, thank you all for the participation in the chat. And actually, I have one more question before we dive into the program. In the spirit, it's New Year's resolution season, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But would love to hear one thing that you want to leave in 2025 and one thing that you want to do differently, perhaps in 2026, or even just answering one of these questions would be great.
Yeah. So curious to hear what people are thinking on this one.
And yes, we will have access to the recorded session.
Absolutely.
All right, we want to accelerate growth in 2026. So that's what we're here to talk about. So that's perfect. Spending hours on marketing. You are totally on the money with what we're about to talk about today, and you're not alone in that. Fear of bad clients and not getting continuous clients. Client retention is definitely on our list, and also setting boundaries.
Love that. Double current clientele. I love that, Alina. I love setting a goal like that. That's awesome.
Building a brand, something we're super passionate about at GlossGenius, which can take many shapes and forms. Scaling ideal clientele. I think we're all feeling that it's not just about more clients, it's about more better clients, right? That align with your business and that you can retain.
Ooh, second location for your scalp spa, Mary. That's so exciting. Congrats in advance.
Love to see the extension in hair care brand. We're going to talk about retail a bit. Okay, I see more from Rachel on retail. Awesome. I love this idea about leaving behind a feeling of guilt and maybe even comparison and how that impacts pricing. We can talk about that a bit too. Double ideal clientele, amazing. All right, well, I hope that this lets everyone know that you are in good company and you are not alone if you have something you want to change and you have these ambitious goals. And hopefully we can cover off on a lot of these topics, but If we don't today, know that GlossGenius is always here for you to talk about these things, whether it's on social, our support team, or if you join GlossGenius, if you're not already on the platform, we can cover all of these ambitious goals with our tools. So let us get into our reality checks as promised. Nicole, I'm going to pass it over to you for our first one.
Absolutely. Well, I'm super excited to dive in. So here's our first reality check. You can't afford to ignore trends. So contrary to probably semi-popular belief, trends aren't just for social media likes. They tell you what clients want to book and what you need to offer to capture as much revenue as possible. So first things first, again, we're going to take it back to you guys. Sound off in the chat. Did you guys notice any trending services this year? I'm curious if in any of your verticals, tons of scalp spa and regular spa and all kinds of different folks in the chat extensions. What trends did you notice in 2025 that you kind of were paying attention to, caught your eye this year? Calico hair, that is one I have seen too. Really cool. Lash lifting, tinting, Brond. Brond is a big one. We are very familiar with Brond here at GlossGenius, as you can tell. Scalp spa, yes. Scalp health. Cat eye nails. Guys, I have cat eye nails right now. Crazy. Yep. Low maintenance, yes. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the chat. Russian manicure. This is really in line with a lot of what we saw at GlossGenius. So let me share a little bit about what we saw. So as we kind of briefly mentioned before, when we were doing our analysis at the end of the year, we looked at millions of appointments and we were able to identify some of your service superstars of 2025. So this slide shows you exactly where the revenue was flowing. So one of the questions we asked clients was the celebrity looks that they requested the most. And so we saw that Sabrina Carpenter's hair and Hailey Bieber's nails led the way. I'm sure you guys have already heard some of this being behind the chair. But also we were able to take a look at some of the most popular, the fastest growing, and the highest ticket services across a few industries. So I'm actually going to be dropping, this is a link to the complete report. If you guys are able to, you might not be able to right now if you don't have multiple hands free, but feel free to click through and navigate down to see the service superstars for your particular industry. So if you can subdivide it by a different space, feel free to take a look. I'm curious if anybody has anything that jumps out or maybe surprises you, but I'll briefly voice over as folks are looking some of the things that we saw. So in terms of most popular services across verticals, some things that we saw were lip flip, all over color, gel manicure, like the classics, but also some interesting ones. I thought dermaclean facial being so high up was really interesting, as well as beard trim being a growing service in barber world. We also saw some on the rise services, so basically the ones that changed the most from the beginning to the end of the year. Things like hot towel shave in barber world were on the move. Aromatherapy, scalp massage. I know folks were mentioning scalp services as a big mover. Dry manicure, which I believe is kind of Russian manicure, like these kind of new manicure techniques. Brow threading, soft glam makeup, root touch-up. And then also highest ticket services. So this I think is a really interesting one. So lip filler is something that's really gaining those high tickets in med spa world. We're seeing that gel spa pedicures can be a huge moneymaker for our folks in the nail space. Microneedling, lip blushing is huge in PMU. Powder brows. So anyway, feel free to dive in, take a look at the report, and you guys can go a little bit deeper on your individual space. And feel free to keep dropping notes as you guys see some interesting stuff. Shaquilla bang trim is surprising. I think maybe bangs are just big right now. I don't know. It's really interesting. Maybe it's a Sabrina Carpenter effect. I have to imagine it is. Amazing. Well, Amanda, let me kick it over to you. So we have this data. What should we do with it?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I think it's great to be fluent in trends, just to talk to clients and be on top of your game, but kind of what is the there in terms of how this drives revenue for your business. So we want to, for every insight we bring you from the millions of appointments at GlossGenius and the thousands of businesses we surveyed, give you really tangible takeaways. I have 3 here that I want to talk about for a second. The first tip is taking a deep look at your service menu. I think it's a great time of year to do that. It's never like the perfect time. Are there any services in this report or otherwise that you might want to add to capture this demand? Client demands are evolving. Are we keeping up? And while I do, give that advice, I will also say it's important not to chase trends that don't fit into your area of expertise or your brand. I know brand building has come up a little bit in the chat. you'll never kind of capture all the trends. So I think thinking really critically around what aligns with A, what is very adjacent to your business, and B, like what you're already seeing in your own data. So I encourage everyone to look at their own analytics. At GlossGenius, we make that really easy to understand what your top performing services are, what are the signals that you can see there, and then also looking at the trends, what is the intersection of that Venn there that might make sense to either tweak or add to your service menu to really drive as much new booking as possible. And then you can leave a little image here. GlossGenius makes it very easy to update those services and also use really beautiful service imagery to bring that to life. Number 2 is about securing upfront revenue. So imagine your services are perfect, you're in great shape, you're like, my menu is it. How do you bring some of that recurring revenue forward? Because nothing is better than upfront profit. And that's why we really recommend that you look at memberships and packages for your most popular and trending services, right? Like it's your best shot at selling a package is one that you know are going to continuously work for your business. Oh, Latasha, I'm so glad to hear that you love memberships. We're really excited about that for not only having those one-off clients, but those keeping clients coming back, which I know is a goal for many people in this chat. And then one other thing that I really love seeing across GlossGenius customers are also seasonal packages. I saw some people posting on social about their holiday glam packages, right? 3 packages over the course of, end of November to end of year. To kind of have that time hook for packages. Sometimes it can feel a little uncomfortable, kind of like continuously asking for people to buy those packages. And the good news is also, see buy 3, get 1, right? Also the holiday fantastic. We can talk about packages, Gina, in a bit. We can definitely share more information there. And some good news is, like, I think the potential hesitation around packages sometimes is the ticket price, right? Like, there's a lot of price sensitivity in the market right now. I'm sure people feel that as well. Buy now, pay later is a great other tool to pair with packages to help those fly off the shelves a bit more. So we'll talk about that more in a second too. And then last but certainly not least, you have your service menu, you have your packages. Doesn't matter if nobody knows about them. So how do we market these new offerings to our clients? One, GlossGenius has some great shareables in the app that will help you kind of like promote these directly on social. We also have AI-powered marketing with Genius AI, where you can actually promote, like give a few words of prompt to say, hey, I want to promote this package, and instantly craft a message. I can go out via SMS or email to your select client list. Always have the chance to review before that goes out as well. And we actually saw, I'm sure everyone else did too, around kind of like life of a showgirl moment, tons of brands were activating, and it was a great time to also send out a message, say, hey, get your XYZ related service done. I'm just checking out these questions here. But that's our quick tips for how to activate on these trends. So let us know if you have any questions in the chat. And I love these examples. Please keep them coming.
Lauren has a great question about using memberships and packages as a hairstylist, which I think is something that we do hear about. A recommendation, I think one, Amanda shared some of these kind of like time-bound or like holiday activations, a buy to get one kind of thing where you're thinking about, hey, pay upfront for a couple of blowouts. If this is like a customer who routinely comes in for blowouts or even for dry styling or something like that, and baking that in, hey, you get this discount if you purchase this package up front. I have actually heard of people doing a full blowout membership. So you can do X number or an unlimited amount for X cost per month on a membership. So I think that's a great like low hanging fruit way to get people in. And of course, think about your service menu and the kinds of things that your clients are dying to get in the chair for. But blowouts and styling I've seen work really well in that realm. So food for thought.
Oh, I love this idea of the healthy hair membership as well.
Yeah.
It's like all about packaging your packages, right? To make them feel really hyper relevant. And also like, I love that this includes the benefit to the client.
Yeah. Amazing.
Awesome. And I see some questions about memberships and packages, so we'll make sure that we loop back. And we also have some folks on the team here who can answer.
For sure. Amazing. Well, with that, keep the questions coming. We won't stop answering them, but I'll kind of kick us over to our next reality check number 2, which is that client expectations are higher than ever. So you guys probably know better than anybody that client expectations are higher than ever, but I'm curious, does this resonate? I feel like this is something I do hear. Let us know maybe one way that you've noticed client expectations changing over the past year. As they should, Courtney. Yeah, absolutely. The world's changing, everything's changing, the industry's changing. I wonder if this is resonating with folks. So yeah, feel free to drop us a comment. We got typers. Awesome. I can tell there's some juicy thoughts being typed. Yes. More attention. Yeah, spa-like services. I mean, I think again, this gets to the rise of like the scalp treatment. I think that's very real. AI images. Yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one. We do hear about that a lot. Whole experience versus just a service. 100% faster results. Yeah, there's a lot of change out there, and I think we'll get a little bit more into the metrics of what we see, but I think this is a lot of these points are really, really excellent and real. Amazing. Keep the thoughts coming. But let me get a little bit into the numbers here. So we hear this from our community all the time, and clients and businesses that we surveyed really helped us understand that, by the numbers, this is absolutely true. Client expectations are changing. So we know that about 43% of businesses cite client acquisition as their greatest growth barrier, and scaling businesses are the ones that are going to stay ahead of what clients want. So these are kind of the 3 client non-negotiables that we notice will make or break a client's decision to book you. It kind of goes along with this idea of higher expectations and changing expectations. So one is reputation. So 44% of clients will reject businesses that have poor or negative reviews. So people are looking closely at Google reviews and reviews on your GlossGenius site to understand if you're a business they want to book with. The next thing is easy access. So from surveying clients, we learned that 44% of clients prefer to book online instantly. So they're less likely to pick up the phone. So folks who already have a really seamless booking site are in a good spot here. It's probably very helpful for you. You're probably capturing a lot of clients, but those of us who haven't made that investment yet, it might be something worth looking into. We'll get more into that in a little bit. And the last piece here is transparent pricing. So the clients we surveyed, 52% of them said that they won't book without prices clearly listed online. So they're not looking for surprises. They're price sensitive and they really want to know what they're signing up for before they, book that appointment. So again, with our world becoming more online and discovery happening on social media and on Google, and there's more options than ever out there, we know that the market is so competitive. Quality, access, transparency are more important than they've ever been in terms of really setting yourself apart. And if you give a client a reason not to book, like some reviews that aren't so great or very few of them, complicated booking that takes too long to manage, or a lack of available pricing info, they probably are less likely to book with you. So just really important to understand that. So I know that's maybe a little bit of bad news, but Amanda is going to say the good news here.
Thanks, Nicole. And then I want to circle back to the chat for a minute too, because there's some great insights being shared there. But we did survey your clients a subset of your clients to get these really interesting data points. We surveyed over 1,000 businesses and over 1,000 clients. We also heard amazing insights from businesses who were growing very successfully in the past year around what is working for them. So I just wanted to spend a minute here talking about these client acquisition techniques. I'll voice them over quickly, but actively growing 5-star reviews came up a ton. We can talk about that a little bit later, but GlossGenius automatically prompts reviews after each service to kind of put those on autopilot, which is crucial in this day and age. Also when, it's a more crowded market than ever and there's a ton of noise on social, and someone mentioned AI images, building those authentic customer reviews and social proof is absolutely crucial. I'm seeing some notes about being rated 5 stars. If anyone's a GlossGenius customer, hopefully you received your end of year Gloss personal results last week. So congrats to all the amazing 5 stars happening there. All about referrals. I really love this one. I think this goes back to kind of this real craving for human connection, especially in our very digital era. So kind of peer-to-peer referral and word of mouth, and also what we can do to incentivize it, like send a marketing email to your VIP clients asking for referrals around the holidays. We also are frequently posting on social, like shareables for you to ask for these type of things. So make sure you stay tuned over there as well. The deposit feature, we're going to talk about more in a bit. It's a fan favorite. Hosting events. We obviously love hosting events here at GlossGenius, but we've heard a lot of kind of like community events where like-minded businesses who might not provide the same service but have overlap in clientele are having a lot of success co-hosting. So that's really cool. We were talking about there's some folks from, the same potential cities in the chat. Like, what if you had an aesthetics business and a hair salon and could kind of cross-pollinate and co-market? Could be really cool. Packages and special offers we talked about. What else do we have here? Refreshing website with professional service photography. One of those things where also there's like never the perfect time, but always the right time, because this can really help you sell some of those services that are especially higher ticket and feel really professional. Marketing, text and emails, crucial, and also making online booking seamless, which we'll talk about soon. So looking at this slide, anyone feeling compelled or to try one of these things, or think that they're going to put this to work in 2026? You have some 5-star service, which is great to see.
If you guys have any hacks for how you've been getting as many reviews as possible and getting to that 5-star rating, that would probably be very inspiring for other folks in the chat.
Absolutely.
So cool.
And something else I wanted to mention, because I saw this come up a little bit earlier in the chat, was around client expectations, whether it's overnight expectations around skincare routines. We also try and do a lot of education on GlossGenius socials around kind of what clients can expect and what they can expect. So if you ever have something that you want us to create like a shareable around that will help do this education, we'd love for you to drop it in the chat, and we can definitely take that back to our team.
Kind of events, Dominique, I've seen some really cool, there's a salon in my town that uses GlossGenius called Moonstone Salon. They do a wonderful job. They do events routinely, like for Mother's Day, they'll do something for Valentine's Day, and they'll bring in other local vendors. Like they'll have like a little table with, someone like a florist will come in and they'll do little bouquets and stuff. And so it's kind of like a client appreciation thing, but it really gets people in the door. So it's just one idea, but Amanda was mentioning the idea of cross-pollinating with other local businesses in general. Then they send out email marketing with GlossGenius to spread the word. I love getting those emails. It's so exciting.
Okay, we have some great transition thoughts into our next slide. So we'll jump over to there.
Awesome.
Which is our tips around what we can do to reach more clients and also retain more clients. This one's coming up in the chat already, but Reserve with Google is one of my favorite features on GlossGenius. Connecting your Google account to your GlossGenius site can build your reviews on your Google profile. I am really bullish on Google as being an increasingly important surface area as a business and brand. With the AI landscape evolving and search evolving, I think this is a great way to automatically build that part of your profile without having to do any extra heavy lifting. So what that looks like in actuality on GlossGenius is, instead of collecting reviews on your GlossGenius site, you actually automatically send those reviews to your Google profile. And then when someone searches, salon near me or for your salon on Google, or your spa or your med spa, you'll populate there with those great reviews. Tip number 2 is login free booking. If you're going to hear me talk about one other thing besides Google reviews, it's login free booking. And this also came through loud and clear in our end of year Gloss report. Clients will not book if booking sends them in a maze. Whether it's requiring an app download or a login, this is an easy way to turn off clients, and there's no reason to be losing clients here. Login free booking is available with GlossGenius, and I would really pressure test your booking flow, kind of start to finish, to head into the new year. Can your client book in 30 seconds or less? Can they rebook in 30 seconds or less? Can they book after hours? This is like, there's many reasons clients won't come back. Don't let this be one of them. This is something that we feel really strongly about at GlossGenius. I see some questions here too, but hopefully this resonates with people. And then, of course, the bonus of building your brand, which came up earlier. We have worked really hard to put together, designer website templates that are both easy and brand forward, the right level of customizable, and also kind of optimized for direct response to get you that next booking. And then tip 3 here, this came through loud and clear in the research. Transparent pricing is everything. I think we've all been on the kind of other end of being interested in a service or a product and not knowing how much it was, and then being disappointed down the road, or, kind of changing our perception of the brand. So having that service menu updated and transparent is crucial, which we also make very easy to do.
Awesome. Okay, we definitely have a lot of activity in the chat, guys. Keep those questions coming, and we're going to get to as many of them as quickly as we can. We'll try to drop some other helpful articles too. I'm glad everybody's so excited. Amazing. So reality check number 3. This one is busy work is bad for business. So by busy work, we're talking here about all the admin work that happens behind the scenes to keep your salon, your spa, your med spa running. We all know that busy work is annoying, but let's be really clear, it's not harmless. It steals your energy and your revenue. So time that you're spending there is time that you're not spending on something else. So we've learned from our surveying that salon, spa, and med spa owners spend an average of 7.1 hours per week on admin work. So when we went ahead and kind of quantified the cost of that, that's equivalent to 2 months per year of time off, or over $554 per week in time that you could have spent with clients or in many other places, of course. So all that being said, it's time that you stop leaving over $20,000 additional revenue on the table. Let's learn a little bit about what we can do instead and avoid that. So I have a question for you guys. If you were to get 7 hours back in your week, what would you do with that time? That's a thinker. Feel free to take a second, but let us know. For yourself, Latasha, yes. I think that's important. Sleep, Amanda, yes. Rest. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of R&R. I feel like that's very top of mind during the holiday season, so that makes sense to me. Chill, be home, do marketing, so real too. Couch time, not be as stressed, honey. Yes, absolutely. Burnout is real. Go to the gym, do treatments for yourself, educate yourself. Love it. Okay, you guys are on the right page. I'm hearing a lot here that resonates with me. Party like a rock star, 100%. Amazing. Well, when we talked to the GlossGenius community about this, they had a lot of the same thoughts about what they would do if they had some extra time in the week, what they would do to kind of reinvest that time, right? So a few things here. Learning new skills and techniques came up a lot. Strategic planning for your business came up a lot, being able to take that step back and think about what's coming up next. Investing more in marketing, which I'm seeing come up here. So, and I just saw Rochelle, grant application, self-care. I mean, you can divvy this time up however you want, right? Spending time with personal, family and friends, training and mentoring your team, preventing burnout with rest and recovery, taking on new clients even, that's time you could be spending with clients if you wanted to. Julie, SEO, so smart. Amazing. Well, those are some examples from the GlossGenius community, but let's kind of get into how we can win that time back that we're talking about here. So Amanda, let me kick it over to you. How can we get that time back?
Awesome. Yeah, it's really interesting to see. I think there's like 2 categories here, and it's like time back for self and then time back for work, right? How can you be doing more of the work you want to be doing, whether it's SEO or your next great frontier of growth instead of admin? And then how can we also take time for ourselves, which is critical. So let's talk about how we're going to do it this year. Here are 5 ways, top of mind for me and many others, which we can also continue to discuss. One is appointment communications. Let 2026 be the year when you stop manually texting clients. Who's with me? Let's see some love in the chat if anyone's either already doing that or committed to doing that. Okay, there's some reactions.
Love it.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Maybe some hesitance otherwise. Okay, we got an amen. Thanks, Connie. Okay. Great. Thanks, everyone. I feel heard. So you can automate text and email booking confirmations and rebooking reminders with GlossGenius, so you never have to manually track a client down. This is crucial. We also talked, like I saw in the chat earlier, boundaries. Like this is a crucial one for boundaries, and just let your clients know, I have an automated notification system, and you're going to get texted before your appointment, and you're going to get confirmations day of, and that's what they need to know. And then hopefully this doesn't happen often, but we also have a much loved, well, infrequent ban client button. If they don't respect your policies or your time, that is absolutely on the table. Tip 2 here is automated wait list. We're also going to stop missing revenue to last minute cancellations or hours to manually managing wait list. That is not for us in 2026. Our smart waitlist instantly notifies clients of openings and automatically fills any gaps in your schedule. I don't know if folks are already using waitlist, but this one gets a lot of love because one, it keeps your books full. And then two, clients love it, right? Like nothing better than getting off the wait list and having your ideal time met. So this is a real fan favorite all around. Three, we've talked about kind of like boundaries and time management, revenue protection. This is getting that cancellation revenue down to 0 in 2026. Who's with me on that one? Who's not going to lose any revenue to cancellations next year? Yes. Amazing. Okay, we're going to not lose any revenue to cancellations. You can actually automate your financial policies by enforcing deposits and cancellation policies seamlessly on GlossGenius. And, we actually ran the numbers on this one, and requiring deposits leads to 32% increase in successful appointments. Like that is a pretty wild number of lost appointment revenue from losing time to cancellations. So this is a total no-brainer and one of our favorites as well. Some great questions I'm going to come back to as we move on here, or after we move on here. So fourth here, we have inventory management. I saw retail come up a couple times in the chat. Retail is a huge opportunity, but it can also be a huge time suck if you don't do it right. So with GlossGenius, you can actually automate the entire retail process. When you use Genius Shop, which is relatively new, I hope some folks have been playing around with it, to order products, it purchases automatically sync with your inventory and expenses, making it incredibly easy and eliminating the need for manual data entry. You can also use GlossGenius's inventory management tool. You can scan barcodes to make this end-to-end automated process and get the upside of retail revenue. And then last but certainly not least here, we have simply managing your back office. It shouldn't take dozens of hours a month, and also shouldn't make your team stressed or you stressed either. GlossGenius automates things like payroll, commissions, automated time tracking, allows you to make this as easy as possible for your team. And we know a happy team, happy dream. I don't know, we'd make up a little line there. Happy team, happy life. So this is a crucial one. And when we talked about like what you get back, I remember when I was reading these survey results, someone said, I just want to wake up and not be stressed from the second I get up in the morning. And I think when we do these things, like that's really on the table, and you can be excited to approach your day instead of already buried in your to-do list. That was a lot for me. I hope I wasn't talking too quickly, but let us know in the chat if any of that resonated with you. Would love to hear what is really standing out here. All of it. If there's one thing that you want to automate, what would it be? And I'm asking because I think when you write it on paper or write it in the chat, it kind of makes it real.
Yeah.
And we can commit to it together.
Setting those intentions for the new year.
Exactly.
There's some good questions about cancellation policies. I think these are fair questions. Very interesting. I think maybe we can cover some more of that towards the end, but I love this. You guys are being so engaged in the chat, which we really appreciate. I know we did get a quick question to you about retail and whether or not you can use inventory management for color or products. The answer is both. You can do back bar as well as retail, which is helpful, I believe. Amazing. Deposit.
Automating phone calls, intake, questionnaire, yes. Forms and waivers is a big one. Yes, forms, deposits. I love this. What else? Anything we didn't talk about that you want to share with the group?
Everything in gold.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Amazing, guys. Cool. Well, hopefully we've given some food for thought here. If you haven't started using these features or you haven't started using GlossGenius, maybe now's the time to start thinking about turning on some of these helpful features. Amazing. Well, I'm going to move us on to the next reality check. And this one is about a really hot topic, which is AI. It's already come up once. I think we're going to get into some of the positives here, some of the exciting things about AI. And this is our fourth reality check. AI makes more possible. So quick question for you guys. I know this already came up. Who here is dabbling in using AI for their business or even for personal stuff? I'm curious. I'm sure some of us are using it for that too. Drop your favorite way to use AI in the chat if you're already using it to kind of streamline your life. A lot of yeses. No idea. That's cool too. We're going to talk more about it. easy text, easy for marketing, captions, SEO, CTAs, hashtags. Yes, Katerina, that's awesome. Me too. Awesome, guys. Yeah, Alexandra, you and your husband are both going to get into it this year. That's awesome. It's my BFF. Okay, cool. Ads and social media. All right, amazing, guys. Well, really excited to see that there's already so much adoption here. We'll get into some specific ways to kind of get into it if you haven't already. But really quickly, to kind of take a step back here. So we've already talked about this a little bit. Our industry is changing, and the businesses that thrive in 2026 will be the ones that are going to be willing to try new tools and try to work a little bit smarter. And so what we found when we surveyed folks was that 76% of businesses believed that a significant percentage of their work could be automated with AI. But on the flip side, only 32% are actively using it at this point. So put in, really optimistic terms here, now's your opportunity to get ahead. This is a great time to get in and to learn more about it and start using AI for your business. And Amanda, I know we surveyed some folks and they shared some specific ways they're using AI. I'll pass it over to you to talk about that.
Awesome. Yeah, I found in my own life, like hearing examples of other people using AI has been the biggest kind of light bulb moments for me. Where I'm like, oh, of course, I should try that. So I wanted to make sure that you had kind of verbatim from folks that we surveyed. I'll read a few here. Writing and optimizing my service menu. I saw a note about that too, which we can follow up on. Copy for social media and for my website. I think something that we've done, what I've tested also is, training AI on your brand voice or even your personal voice. Like if I have trained, I've used Gemini, how I want to respond to things. And then it can automatically edit emails when I want to say, hey, does this sound right in my tone? And I also share, who I'm presenting to. So I really love that one. I use Genius AI from GlossGenius to write and send professional email and text campaigns. We're going to talk about that in a slide. AI helps me brainstorming for marketing events, promotions, and social media content. I absolutely love this one. I think sometimes, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but it can be, lonely to come up with the next idea all the time. And also if you don't have a business partner or a huge team, kind of like just having a thought partner. I'm not saying AI is going to solve that for you all of the time, but I found AI to be an incredibly helpful brainstorm partner at the very least. And then you add your kind of own perspective and human touch. But we were talking about events. Like I think it'd be amazing to ask AI about, hey, I want to put on an event. Like here's a little bit about my town and my business and share some ideas there. AI to generate ideas for packages. That's a great one as well, based on what we already discussed on packages. Clear staff policy documents that help keep my team on track. That's also great. I also use AI sometimes for like understanding legal documents, right? Like, what does this mean? You shouldn't use it to execute legal documents necessarily, but it kind of simplifies things in a way that makes my brain process it more readily. And then last but not least, organizing my to-do and prioritizing my tasks. I think this is a great use case, and there are some awesome tools out there already. On the next slide, a little bit more about Genius AI, which I know just came up, which is a great, like if you're not using AI or if you are using AI, Genius AI is a great, already available to you if you're using GlossGenius way to get your hands dirty with AI in a way that feels really straightforward. Genius AI is GlossGenius's AI-powered marketing assistant, where you can just add a few words to draft a campaign for text or email that can go out to your clients. You can add like, hey, I want to promote a package for holiday glam, and then you'll get an option. And what we love about Genius AI is you are always in the driver's seat. You can tweak tune to your liking, to your voice, and we're going to continuously be releasing new updates to these AI-powered features to make sure that they represent the latest and greatest of what's available to salon, spa, and med spa owners. So more on this soon. And on our next slide, we love to kind of put our customers first because their words are more powerful than mine. But I loved this quote from Patrice, owner of SD Moon Skin Wax and Apothecary, on Genius AI. I think like what I love about this is some people might love being marketers, like awesome if you are, but some people don't want to. And like you should be able to do the work that you love and not do the work that you don't love. So we're building, tools that help you focus on what you really want to be focused on, while also like having things done to the bar that you wanted to.
100%. Amazing. Well, you guys can continue to drop thoughts in the chat as always, but I'm going to move us on to our final reality check. Time flies. Crazy. So this is reality check number 5. Top teams are getting ahead with GlossGenius. So I've seen representation from a lot of our amazing members in the chat tonight who are proof positive that things are really working for you. But for those of you who are not super familiar with GlossGenius, it's really true that top salons, spas, and med spas grow more by making more money on every single appointment. And GlossGenius has the solutions that you need to work smarter and make every hour more profitable. So in fact, I was stunned by this stat. Businesses on GlossGenius increased their sales by a combined 559 million in 2025. So that is growth that cannot be denied. That is a huge amount of growth, of progress for so many amazing business owners across the United States. So exciting. But how these folks achieve this is kind of focusing on 2 things, which is really where we kind of build features to support you. Maximizing your ticket value, making every hour more profitable that way, but then also protecting your revenue and protecting that revenue that you make per hour proactively. So we'll get into that in the next slide, but really excited to dive into how our solutions get you there.
Awesome. And I don't know if anyone joined Nicole and I in a past event about the tactics of top teams, but we covered some of these things. Actually, would love to hear if anyone's joined us for an event previously, and raise your hand, let us know. And if you haven't, or if you have, would love to hear what you'd want to see from us in a future event as we think about what we're going to do next year. So please let us know. But back to our programming. Here are some tactics that really jumped out as go-tos of top performing businesses on GlossGenius. So one was goal setting. 'Tis the season for goal setting. I talked about New Year's resolutions earlier. New Year's resolutions are great. I intend to set some, but personally, I find smaller, more actionable goals far less overwhelming and far more kind of palatable for myself. Instead of having a hard start at the top of every year, what if that soft start happens every week? So this is what goal setting does at GlossGenius. It's always, you can set always on smaller goals. And we discovered that on average, teams that set small, frequent goals make 51% more revenue per week than those that don't. I think that's really powerful. Revenue goals can be an incredible motivator for you and your team, and it's super measurable. You can see here, it'll say like how you're tracking to that goal, and also provide some personalized recommendations to help meet there. So this is a huge one. If you're not trying goal setting already, that's something that we can definitely try before the end of the year to set yourself up for the best 2026 possible. Number 2 here is retail. It's come up a ton already. How do we get that kind of base service price and ticket price up significantly without increasing our hours worked significantly? Retail is a great answer to that. We found that businesses who sell retail on average make 2 times more revenue. It's a major number. And as we mentioned already, GlossGenius inventory management makes major revenue gains not majorly complicated. So this is a great one to explore into the new year as well. And then we haven't talked about this one today, which is shocking because I love talking about this. But our third tip of like top performers on GlossGenius are businesses who use payments. Payment processing that keeps more in your pocket. We call kind of disadvantageous payment processing a silent killer, because if you find yourself surprised by transaction fees, card on file fees, and hidden fees every month, that's silently draining profit from your business. And 2026 is the year where we keep more profit in our pocket. We're selling those packages. We're optimizing our service menu. We're not paying hidden fees. We're crushing those revenue goals. And a crucial piece of that is having the right payments provider. So GlossGenius provides flat, low 2.6% payment processing, and you don't have to worry about having those hidden fees on your monthly bill. I would love to hear if anyone's using GlossGenius payment processing in the chat. Something that clearly I'm very passionate about, but I hope that this can be a way to save thousands of dollars in the new year. Awesome, great to see these comments. I'm out of breath because I'm excited. Awesome.
Okay.
Great to hear. Thank you all. And I actually have a 4th one on the next slide that I want to sneak in there as well. Amazing. I'm so glad that these features are already working for you. And if you're new, which I know some folks are new to GlossGenius, which is also great to hear, I would love for you to try and get your feedback. So my last feature here, buy now, pay later. I talked about this a little bit earlier because we're talking about some tactics that will increase ticket size, right? We're talking about more expensive packages, getting that upfront revenue. We're talking about revisiting your service menu and making sure that your prices reflect your worth, which also came up earlier. We also have a resource on this in our resource hub about how to make sure your prices reflect your worth and actually telling clients that you're raising prices. So you can also check that out. But what do we do to also make sure that clients feel like they have the flexibility to continue to come to you despite economic conditions? And that for that reason, we have introduced buy now, pay later in the past year, and it has quickly become a really important feature for many businesses. You can turn on buy now, pay later on your booking site, and that will give you the flexibility of offering payment plans to your clients with the added bonus that you get paid up front, risk-free. I see a question that is accurate that we do get hit with a 6% fee. Yes, there is a higher payment processing fee or BNPL fee because of we have to work with third-party payment providers like Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna to offer this service. So that is the case. And we do see that buy now, pay later can drive up ticket sizes, about 3x higher ticket value because clients are willing to pay for those higher ticket services with buy now, pay later. We actually have seen some folks see like 10x service prices with buy now, pay later, which has been amazing. And unlike other softwares, we decided to work with these 3 payment providers because your client's likely already familiar with Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. And by providing all 3, it's kind of the maximum chance that this is super easy for them and they're already onboarded with one of these providers. And then, as I mentioned, you always get paid up front in full. And GlossGenius automatically records every transaction and displays it on your sales reports so you can understand kind of like the exact impact of buy now, pay later relative to your other services as well. And I see a note about Cherry. I think we had some businesses using Cherry previously, and we really heard that all-in-one is really valuable. Being able to not have to go to another platform for buy now, pay later. So this is seamlessly in your existing flow so that you don't need to be working on multiple platforms. Awesome. And on this next slide, another one from one of our amazing customers, owner of Zen Beauty, Yolanda. She turned on buy now, pay later and saw a 5.8x higher booking value. And she actually had her biggest day ever of $12,000 in sales thanks to buy now, pay later. Yolanda has very high ticket value services, and this has been a huge revenue driver for her business and profit driver, given the flexibility it gives to clients.
Amazing.
Awesome. All right. So back to this question that Nicole opened up on, it's about making money and saving money, which both bring more profit in your pocket. What is the one thing you're going to try to make or keep more money per hour in 2026?
Hopefully there was some good inspo in this last section / throughout. I feel like we had
here
before we had some great thoughts. Maybe we're all thought out. we have all our ideas out.
One more manifestation.
Yeah, let's set those intentions, guys. Better education for clients. Packages, amazing, Karen. A lot of good stuff in there. Awesome. Memberships and packages, yes, Jocelyn, good. Yep, buy now, pay later to attract more extensions clients. We hear this a lot with extension artists, so this can be a really big unlock. Retail, memberships.
Confidently raise prices. I love that.
I'd love to see it. This is a good time of year to think about that for sure. Fresh start. Packaging.
Add new services.
Awesome, guys.
Retail, love it.
Good stuff. All right, well, we don't have a ton of time left, so I'm going to flip us over to some of our last section here, and we are going to have some time at the end for any questions you guys have, so feel free to start maybe dropping some questions in the comments that you'd like us to cover. But really quickly, screenshot this slide if you want an easy takeaway from tonight's event. So this is kind of all of the high level of our 5 big reality checklist items. So just to quickly recap, 1, you can't afford to ignore trends. Let's definitely keep our eyes peeled for trends which tell you where revenue is flowing and capitalize on them with memberships and marketing. Client expectations are higher than ever. So again, scaling businesses got to stay ahead of those client non-negotiables, things like easy online booking and transparent pricing, and growing 5-star reviews and providing easy booking is really going to help you stand out. Busy work is bad for business. So remember, if you're not automating your key tasks, you're spending time on them. So make sure that you save hours per week and recover lost revenue with things like, appointment communication, automated wait lists, and your financial policies all being done, while you're doing other things. 4 is that AI makes more possible. So as a reminder, only 32% of the businesses that we surveyed are actively using AI right now. So now's the time to get ahead. And early adopters are leveraging AI for use cases like drafting professional marketing materials, including with GlossGenius and Genius AI. And then lastly, you are going to grow faster with GlossGenius. So if you haven't tried us yet, now might be the time. We have over 100 powerful features that help you grow more without all of that busy work. And quickly on this same topic, so if you are not currently using GlossGenius, I would really recommend that you schedule a free demo with us. So you can scan this code, or I'm going to drop a little link in the chat for you guys. Either works. You can also click through here. But basically, when you schedule a demo with GlossGenius as somebody who hasn't used the platform yet, you're going to get a personal walkthrough with a member of our team. They're going to show you how the platform works, answer your questions, and give you a sense of what could be possible for you and for your individual business. So again, now's the time. 559 million of growth last year. You can join that community. We'd love to see you there. As Latasha says, it's worth every penny. So check it out. But yeah, so again, link is in the chat, or scan this code. And with that, Amanda, we can answer some questions.
It's about that time. And I know this is a little bit of a greedy ask because I said that you can ask us questions and I'm asking a question, but I'm going to put one more out there. I mentioned before, but this was the year when we started hosting many more of these events.
Yeah.
Nicole and I really enjoyed it, and the crew behind the scenes who makes this possible. So thank you as well. But would love to hear what you would like to hear from us in future events. We really want to provide business education and answer your burning questions about how to get ahead and how to grow. So please let me know in the chat if you don't mind. And then also please let us know any questions for this session, and Nicole and I will be happy to answer.
Awesome, guys. Okay, let me see what kind of questions we have. First event. Of course, Latasha, we're thrilled. And again, if you guys have any feedback or ideas, feel free to drop them. How to set up gift cards. Tammy, I bet we can send you an article on that. So I'll have one of the team members drop that in the chat. But yeah, definitely you can sell GlossGenius gift cards, which is amazing. Definitely for this time of year too, right? Tanya, I believe that we are able to accept FSA, HSA, but again, we'll grab an article for you, I think, on that, or at least do reimbursements.
Nice. There's some questions around like feature utilization, which we can send documentation on, but I think also we can consider an event where it's more about product demo, which we would love to do.
Let's do in the future for sure.
Would also love to hear, I know this survey kind of highlighted some of the biggest challenges to grow, like client acquisition. Are there any other business challenges that you would want to see some education on? And Nicole and I love doing this, but we also do invite other experts to join, whether that's creators or coaches.
We've had some amazing folks join us this year. We've got some exciting ones on the docket. Taxes.
Trend watching, cool. I love those. Taxes we do annually, but we should do more of those. Consider doing more of those for sure.
Yeah. Coupon codes, it's not currently something that we have on the platform. It's a very valid question. It's a frequently requested feature though. So Yeah, definitely on our horizon. Something's on our radar. So thanks for sharing that. Taxes, yeah, big topic.
Luxury service menu, I love. We have some great partners that have done this extremely well who would love to speak on this. Custom reports, Alexander, we do have custom reports. Maybe we can follow up with some more info there on analytics. I think this idea of kind of like how to sell luxury services that clients don't need is a really interesting one.
Yeah.
Kind of like the art of the upsell. Does that resonate with folks? Would you come?
Be honest.
Yes, yes. Wow, we got some yes for art of the upsell. Okay, let us know.
So.
We're open to partnership ideas. You can absolutely reach out to us. Amazing.
Punch card. That's very interesting. I think, memberships and packages can kind of serve a purpose like that, Vanessa, in a sense. Obviously, it's different, but really interesting idea there. And I've definitely heard of people doing that on their own as well, too.
Yeah, and I'm interested in this idea that Caitlin just brought up around how to kind of continue to sell respectfully during different economic conditions.
Yeah.
Right? Like how to create a economy and like future-proof business that stands all these different ups and downs in the world.
I saw a question, I think it came up a couple of times around dealing with older clientele who maybe aren't as used to online booking. Really interesting topic. I think something that we've seen with GlossGenius is because we don't have the logins and the passwords and the app downloads, it's actually very accessible for those clients. But I'm curious if there are specific areas where people feel like they could be more supported. It's a very interesting one. Recommended sites we get ideas from, Julie. GlossGenius, okay, I'm gonna give a plug for the GlossGenius blog. Julie, if you've not been in our resources tab on the GlossGenius website, we do have a lot of really great marketing ideas and other resources there, so I would highly recommend checking it out.
Awesome. I know we're right about at time. I think we've answered some questions in the question tab. Give one more minute here. But I just wanted to say that this is our last event of the season, right, Nicole?
Yeah.
I think so. I know, time flies. Just wanted to say thank you all for joining us. I know your time is precious and we so appreciate it. And just like heartfelt, in a heartfelt way, I want to say that I wish you wonderful and happy holiday season and a really fantastic start to 2026. We are so impressed by everything you do every day to serve your clients and uplift your community. And we're manifesting and wishing the best for you. And if GlossGenius is part of that journey, we are super honored. If your question was not answered, we are answering questions in the question tab. So we're going through that now. And also, if you want to reach out to support at GlossGenius at any time, if there's anything that Nicole and I can't answer, we can definitely reply to you there.
Also, we'll send you a note separately. Thank you for flagging your question. We just want to look into it for you. Thank you, guys. And I just want to echo what Amanda shared. This has been such a pleasure doing these events in the past several months, and can't wait for next year. More to come. Thank you so much for being here with us. I know it's a crazy time of year, and happy holidays. Awesome. All right, guys, we'll close it out. Have a great evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.